Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Okay. I doubt if we'll be here for an hour. Hi, Lydia Washington, Judy Matasid, Fancy, CK, Helen Marmon, and a host of friends and others. Okay. Let me go ahead and grab my slides and we're good to go. Ha ha ha. Okay. There we go. And slides are coming up. Wow, May the 1st already. I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. And 56,000 subscribers. That is another one I just cannot believe. Considering where we came from and where we are now, that is just amazing. It pleases me, though. I am quite pleased. Let me get comfortable. Uh, ugh, ugh. Gosh, I sound like Angela Levin. I sound just like Angela Levin. Okay. This is one of those days when you elevate that bad leg. That's what it is. Okay. And wait a minute, is that right? Oh, no, that's not right. Wait. Oh, I knew I forgot to do something. Let me throw that over there first. And then we're good. Okay. All right, so that's better. Let me take that away and do it over again. I was missing just one slide, but there we go. That should work out better. Hello, Susie Q. Dansbeed, Mama Jane. VS speaks royally. Haven't put her up top in a while. There we go. There's a Sussex friendly space up there at the top of the chat. You may recognize VS Speaks Royally. And you're making it rain on me. Yeah. I think that's what that needs, don't you? How about you, VS? I don't know why I feel like that, but at the end of it, I feel like it just needs a yeah. Right? And you're making it rain on me. Yeah. Okay. If I do that again, I could give up fathering a child. So I better stop that. Okay. And then there we go. Here we go. There we go. Perfection. Hey, Church Nelly. Now, that is Harry and Meghan. And of course, behind them is a double view of the St. Paul Cathedral in London, San Paolo Cathedral in London. Beautiful church. Beautiful, what do you call it? Renaissance church. I guess it's Renaissance, right? Anyway, got all those Palladian things going on. One of my favorite architects, Sir Christopher Wren, he really pushed for the creation of that church. By the time the church was nearly complete, They had to hoist him up and down in a basket because he was too frail to climb those steps. I've actually been all the way up there to the lantern. You see there at the top, the lantern? That is what they call that part at the top because, of course, it illuminates at night. And so there's like three parts to it. You can go to the Golden Gallery, which is at the base of the dome, and then somehow you work your way up to the very top. And one of the clever ways that that dome, which I think is 38 feet in diameter, one of the ways it was possible was that it's actually not a dome, it's a cone, but you can't see the cone because the lead shell that encased the cone hides it from view. But to make it structurally possible, they had to use a cone shape, like one of those orange cones you see on the highway. That is what it looks like behind the skin of that dome. And it's interesting that what was that some 300 years ago that at that time that they would innovate something as clever as that. The other thing that you can't see because of those walls is the flying buttresses. You know, just like with a Gothic cathedral with the flying buttresses, those are also hidden behind. So there's a lot of innovations that went into building that dome, building that cathedral. And all these years later, I have to say it was a good call. Um, Magnificent place. He thought that London should take the world stage with a proper Renaissance cathedral. So, cheers to Sir Christopher Wren. Cynthia, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Um, Also, oh, Church Nelly, you know you get all hot and bothered when I'm talking so technical. Don't try to pretend for me. You know, all that technical talk gets you all hot and flush and bothered and everything. It's nothing a cold shower couldn't fix. uh, Hello, Lorna Murray. Thank you so much for being here. All right, so let's cut to the chase, shall we? Shall we? We have exciting news to finally announce. Invictus Game. Stay tuned. 1 p.m. UK time. Well, that is how it started today. There was this announcement. I was actually listening to Spaces at the time, and oh boy, some of the things that people thought was about to come out, but I didn't realize that the announcement was from the Invictus Games Foundation. I thought it was from, Kensington Palace or something like that. I'm like, oh, Kitty's back. But no, it wasn't that. It was about the what do you call it? The short list for the Invictus Games, which include Washington D.C. The D.C. stands for the District of Columbia. So, not to be confused with the state of Washington, although quite often I've seen some people post videos online and they're talking about Washington State, and there's a picture of the United States Capitol building. And then, of course, there is Birmingham on the right side. Birmingham is an interesting city. I actually went there because I was so curious about the industrial Midlands. I wanted to see a real working class city, and it did not disappoint. Manchester is much better, but it did not disappoint. Um, I just think Manchester's got a little more interesting history, but I enjoyed my stay in Birmingham. It was just nice to see how people live. But yeah, so that was the announcement. Invictus Games 2027 host shortlist. Now, there's said to be some 26 million pounds that has been set aside. I belief from the government to help facilitate the event. However, people are criticizing, saying that Birmingham is a trap. That it is a trap to try to overthrow the Duke of Sussex from something that is of his own creation. The founding, uh, what do you call it? What is that they said he was? The patron, the founding patron of the Invictus Games. And I just don't believe it's possible that they're going to push him out. Now, you'd be interested to know that it is said, I haven't seen this for myself, but it is said that Harry was not part of the decision making. They said that he recused himself so that he wouldn't have any undue influence on the outcome. That's what they said publicly. But there is a board for the foundation, and any proper foundation normally has a board. And I guess part of the decision making is the fact that they would be bringing the games back to the UK. It started there in 2014, and there are some people who thought that there ought to be games there again. So we'll see how it goes. Um, oh, by the way, let me take a. I need to see something. Okay, that way. Yes. All right. So there we go. Take a look here. Prince Harry's Invictus Games announcement finalists for 2027 host city, including one in the U.S., Washington, D.C. You guys, Washington is a great city. Great city. I know that there's always so much bad news about Washington and, oh, be careful. It is beautiful. It is one of America's first planned cities, if not the first planned city in the country. And of course, the model for Washington was loosely based on Paris, in that, one of the things you notice about Paris is that they have so much uniformity with the height of the buildings. And the only place I've seen that in the US is in Washington, D.C. So you'll be really amazed at how green it is, how beautiful it is, and there's like so many monuments and such every place you go. Lots of history there. Um, and of course, the cherry blossoms. If you're ever lucky enough to get there for the cherry blossom, it started with a cherry tree that was a gift from the Emperor of Japan, and now it's one of those fine traditions where you go to Washington for the cherry blossoms. So I don't think that that would apply at the time of the Invictus Games, but still, just a little FYI for you. So we're delighted to receive such a strong field of applications to host the Invictus Games in 2027, which gives us tremendous confidence for this year's iteration of the Invictus Games of the games following Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025, presented by um, ATCO, and Boeing, the airline manufacturer. And Lord Allen, chairman of the Invictus Games Foundation, said in a statement, both cities, now shortlisted for 2027, have kept the experiences of the competitors, that is, and supporters at the core, building different but hugely exciting bids. We look forward to the next stage of the process and selecting another inspirational iteration of the games over the summer. So, should be fun. Should be very interesting. And now, of course, just in case you missed it earlier today, Um, Here we go. Is It's Coming Home? Birmingham has been shortlisted to host the Invictus Games in 2027. In March, the city launched a £26 million bid to host the multi-sport event aimed at wounded, injured, or sick armed forces personnel and veterans. After a detailed process which was launched last year, Birmingham now faces competition from Washington, D.C. in the USA to be the host, with a final decision by the Board of Trustees being made by the end of July. Birmingham's bid focused on the National Exhibition Center, NEC, and drew the connection to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, QEHB, in Selly Oak and wider defense medical assets in the region. For many wounded service personnel, Birmingham was the starting point for their recovery journey after being treated at the QEHB. The city will look to utilize the 9 core sports alongside esports, as well as explore the addition of a team triathlon as a potential new sport. Lord Allen, chair of the Invictus Games Foundation, said, "We were delighted to receive such a strong field of applications to host the Invictus Games in 2027, which gives us tremendous confidence for this next iteration of the Games following Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025 presented by ATSIO and Boeing." Both cities, now shortlisted for 2027, have kept the experiences of the competitors and supporters at their core, building different but hugely exciting bids. We look forward to the next stage of the process and selecting another inspirational iteration of the Games over the summer. Helen Helliwell, CEO Invictus Games 2027 UK bid, said, "We were privileged to make initial presentations to the Invictus Games Foundation Board earlier this month and are thrilled to move forward to the shortlist. We have a truly compelling bid to bring the Games back to the UK, showcasing the best of our armed forces communities and delivering on our pledge to make this the best country in the world to be a veteran. As well as delivering an amazing week of the Games Festival at the NEC Birmingham, a Commonwealth Games venue in 2022, we want to use the platform of the..." Oh, Lord, I'm sorry. "To improve opportunities for adaptive sport, arts, and employment, enabling communities to thrive, both in the run-up to the Games and as a legacy from them across the UK and beyond." The dates of the Invictus Games in 2027 are still to be confirmed and will depend upon the winning bid. This year, the Invictus Games Foundation celebrates its 10th anniversary since the inaugural Invictus Games London 2014. Prince Harry, who founded the international sporting event, will return to the UK to celebrate the upcoming 10th anniversary of his Invictus Games. He is expected to give a reading at a service of Thanksgiving in St. Paul's Cathedral, London, on the 8th of May. The next games taking place are in Canada, the Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025, and will be a winter hybrid edition held from 9 the 16th of February. Okay, so there you go. Gwendolyn Daniels, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you so much. I'm glad you feel like this is a place where you can share things with us. So really, really appreciate it. Hope you are well. Hope your family is well. And of course, we keep you in our prayers. Okay. They gave it to the UK. There will be a very uncomfortable event for and focus on vets. Well, people were saying that if they have it there, then Meghan probably won't come. 2027 is a bit of a ways away, and I hope that the world is a very different place in a good way by 2027, especially for someone who has really gone through a horrendous time thanks to the royal family and the tabloid media. Um, I hope things are different for Meghan at that point. I hope that all of this vitriol is behind us. One can only hope. Such a waste of time. And with all of the good in the world that the Sussexes have done and continue to be capable of, it just is a horrendous waste of time. And as I said yesterday, all of this starts with Charles and that concubine of his. That's where it starts. Because he's trying to reform his image and that of her, as Harry said in his book, there has been a lot of people that had to pay the price, starting with his sons, with both of his sons. And it continues. It continues. And I'm going to show you exactly how much that was worth later. Okay. Okay, we went over that, et cetera, et cetera. We can continue. And of course, that is the facility that they were speaking of. Looks like a beautiful setting, but it looks great in person. Too bad we're going to be in Washington, D.C. We are incredibly excited by the bid of Washington and Birmingham, and we'll be making our final decision on a host for the Invictus Games 2027 in July. So, not too far away, you all. July. And there, of course, is the United States Capitol and the Washington Monument. Um, which for a short period of time was the tallest structure in the world. I think it lost the title to the Eiffel Tower, right? And it is all masonry, you guys. There's no framing for that. It's all stone on top of stone. It's a wonder that thing is still standing. Um, Although it was damaged when they had an earthquake in Washington, which is so strange that they had an earthquake in Washington. You just don't think about stuff like that. Not known as a seismic activity zone, but there you have it. And of course, the capital, Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill. Um, and since I'm talking about architecture, do you know that the dome of the United States Capitol is made of iron? If you were able to see the inside of it, I mean, like between the walls, it looks like the hull of a ship. That is a cast iron dome. It looks like the hull of a ship. They just painted it white, but that is an iron dome. Iron dome. Where have I heard that before? I don't like to think about it. Okay. All right. So that's enough of my architectural tour for today. We have announced our short list of cities to be the potential hosts of the um, what is that behind the watermark? Oh well, I bet you it's not that important. Okay, of the eighth edition of the Invictus Games, the eighth edition of the Invictus Games, and of course, 93.2% surveyed prefers Washington, D.C. Now, this survey was taken by the Invictus Games. It's not a scientific survey, but 93.2% prefer Washington. 6.8%, of course, they prefer, wait for it, Birmingham. Washington, Birmingham. So I don't know. The Invictus Games right there along the Potomac River, right there in the shadow of the Jefferson Memorial, the Washington Monument, or Birmingham, right there along the banks of the Potomac with the lovely, see the cherry blossoms, right? Arlington National Cemetery. Do you know that you can take a tour of the White House for free? All of that. Or Birmingham. Oh, I don't know, you guys. That's really tough. And do you know that the museums are free in Washington D.C.? Yeah, like the Smithsonian museum. Oh, they have the Museum of African American History. That's exciting. That's like the newest big museum there. They have the Natural History Museum. They have the Science Museum. Anyway, it's a whole bunch of stuff there. But why would you go and see all of that beautiful, lush green, monumental city when you can go to Birmingham? I don't know, you guys. This is tough. I am being pulled in both directions here. Beautiful, lush green Washington, D.C., or Birmingham. I don't know, you guys. We'll find out in July. But if I was on the board, you know how I would likely vote. I'm just saying. Okay. So right there, you can see U.S. Army, ACRP. Thank you to the Duke of Sussex for all you do to help our wounded, ill, and injured service members. Prince Harry has dedicated a decade of his life in service to our brave veterans, and that he has done. So, you guys, it's going to be a whole year of celebrating Prince Harry's Invictus Games. Because don't forget, we still haven't gotten to the date when the actual games, or have we? I don't know why I'm thinking that that's in September, but yeah. So, Baron, can you believe it? Seriously, as long as I've been with Royal Sussex and entertained and laughed with you, we should be friends by now. 28 months. Wow. I'm looking at that number, 28 months. Thank you so much for watching and supporting and contributing to Royal Sussex. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. And thanks for the movie that you treated me to. That was very nice. Um, I got a very nice gift from Joan Garcia to make sure that I watched the movie that we discussed, The Gang That Couldn't Shoot Straight. That was so good. Thank you. Okay, and next. So, I do have a sound bite for you. Let me get that queued up. Simply put, visionary thinking is the ability to see the big picture and the potential for what could be. A visionary leader is forward thinking, constantly seeking new possibilities, and focused on creating a better future. That's what a visionary is. So um, I would say that describes Harry 100%. It's one of the reasons why I have been so proud to support the Duke of Sussex because I just admire the way he has lived his life. Definitely not a perfect person, and that's part of the charm is that he's had his ups and downs, but one thing is a constant, and that is he's always thinking of other people.
15th of May, something like that. So the middle of the month.
Oh, let me see. Let me make sure I start this from the start.
I left the army on the 1st of May 2013. I think it was the 15th of May, something like that. So the middle of the month, I was on a plane out to Colorado to join Prince Harry on his
Warrior
tour.
Games.
This is it. So he was doing a tour of the USA. And the Warrior Games was actually a bit of a last-minute addition. My boss at the Royal Foundation, Nick Booth, who, coming full circle, I'll tell you a story about Nick Booth in a sec. But Nick sort of caught wind of Warrior Games and said to Harry and the team, look, you really should call in on this one. Okay. They put it into the program, but it was a last-minute addition. He looked at the Warrior Games. We walked around it. It was fantastic. We spoke to the lads. And the morning after, we were sitting in a hotel in Colorado, sort of reflecting on what we'd just seen. And we were sitting down at breakfast. It wasn't a meeting or anything like that. It was over breakfast. And Harry, he said, look, this is absolutely brilliant. What we've seen here at the Warrior Games is absolutely brilliant. But what we need to do is we need to internationalize this. We need to invite allies, nations from all over the world. We're going to put it in the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. It needs to be on the BBC. You know, this is going to be massive. We're going to have a closing concert. He could see it.
All like that over breakfast.
Before anyone else could. He has been the visionary and the driving force behind this. So anyone that sort of sits back there and is a bit sort of disparaging and goes, oh, well, you know, oh, it's just a figurehead or whatever. How much is he even involved in it? Yeah. From my personal experience, he has been the visionary from the very beginning and has been incredibly involved and is just incredibly proud of his involvement in it. I left the army on the 1st of May 2013. I think it was the 15th of May, something like that. So,
okay. So it was about to start repeating. This is why I shared the definition of visionary, because that describes Harry through and through. Look at the Harry on the left. That's the father, a global statesman, among other things. In other words, you could check every box of what his brother wished he could be. That is, the brother wished for himself. That describes Harry. And take a look at the Harry there on the right. Look at that chubby face, red cheeks, lots of hair. That's the Harry that was. Smooth, clean-shaven Harry. But now there is Harry, who is globally recognized as probably one of the biggest voices, one of the most important voices when it comes to the veteran community, regardless of your nation of origin. When it comes to the veterans, Harry speaks their language. And he has been so well respected for that. And you guys, some of you all are in such fear that they're going to take something from him. Trust me, they're not. They're just not. Especially where the United States is concerned. I really can't be so certain about what's going to happen in Britain. But even there, I don't think that that he's in any weak position whatsoever. So his position is secure, and I don't have any doubt about it. Carol Lund, thank you for your great podcast. Well, thank you so much, Carol Lund, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Greatly appreciate it. Now, when I listened to this guy say that Harry thought instantly, we have to make this something international. We cannot limit it to just one country. And I thought about what Oprah said in The Me You Can't See. It was Harry. See there at the bottom, it says, executive produced by Oprah Winfrey and Prince Harry. I got a chill. I literally got a chill because I recalled that Oprah had talked to Harry a long time ago about doing something together. We're going to do a collaboration about mental health because it's just so important. It is so important. Mental health is health. It's part of your overall well-being. And Oprah was going to do something just for the US. And Harry said, this is too big. We have to go global with this. And having seen the Me You Can't See, that was the perfect call. That was the perfect call. That was executive producer Prince Harry's idea to take it global. And if you guys have not seen the Me You Can't Be, Me You Can't See, it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal. And I recommend it like this. If you need to have a conversation with someone about mental health, if you're not able to articulate yourself with whomever you're trying to discuss it with, whether it's for yourself or for someone else, it is a fantastic tool to get the conversation started. Because out of the collection of people that were involved in the Me You Can't See, there is just about someone or even a couple of those individuals that are going to say something or have experienced something that you and the next person can identify with. So out of all the series that I've seen produced by any of these streaming services, I have to say this has been one of the more illuminating, eye-opening series that I've seen. So, but you got to see it for yourself. So if you have not, you really should. It will help you get the conversation started. It will help you identify things that you may have not noticed about yourself, right? So there's no substitute for counseling, but I say it's a good way to start a conversation. All right. Dale Staley, is it Staley? Staley says, I'm so glad Oprah and Harry are highlighting mental health. For all of us, human history, mental health has been stigmatized. It's health. Absolutely. It's health. I agree. Okay. All right. I'm going to go on. I promised that we should be out of here in an hour. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. There we go. There's our Nigerian princess. I'm sure you all have seen this photo floating around, and I haven't shared it yet, but I decided, I'll share it today. Today's a good day. I like it. I like it. I doubt if that's going to happen, but as someone said yesterday, when our Duchess appears in public and the aunties start coming after her with fabric, there's not a whole lot you can do. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Now, got another soundbite for you. Yes, Tessa Dunlap. Let me set this up for you. So many times, you all, I have said that these shows and the panelists is a bunch of theater. It's so rare that your champion actually makes the point that you would love for them to make. And even if they are making that point, they are going to be shouted down by the opposing figure on the panel. It's a zero-sum game. You're not really moving the dial. Nothing changes because of these conversations on television. As a matter of fact, the worst part of it is you're going to get more frustrated and more depressed because you don't really see anything changing. So it is not a valuable tool to find some type of resolution for something that concerns you. It just is not. It's rare. I won't say it's impossible, but it's rare. what you get is a bunch of frustration. I don't ever feel good after seeing people go at it, like on The View, which is why I stopped watching it, or Loose Women, which is why I rarely bother with them. Um, any of those things. And even Lorraine Kelly. Lorraine Kelly has a way of getting under your skin, and you just don't get anywhere. And then LBC and talk. Well, actually, LBC, I've had some great moments with LBC, but still, it's more conservative than anything else. And too right wing, too Brexit, all that stuff. And even worse is GB News and the Talk TV. And then of course you have some of the stuff on ITV like Good Morning Britain. Good Morning Britain is painfully political. And right on top of the politics is a bunch of gossip. It is so vastly different from Good Morning America. So different. It's like Good Morning America with a really bad budget. And so much of what they do is driven by hate. It really is. It's driven by hate. And that Susanna, I don't know how much longer she could play dumb. She's doing a good job of it, seemingly unaware and not sure and unable to. But again, it's theater. I have nothing against her. She's playing the role that she's cast to play. It could not have been easy for her to sit down win from Pierce Morgan, because when you go and do that type of work every day, you're kind of given a pound of flesh so that you can live in a nice condominium building or semi-detached home. Sad place to be, but some people, well, they do what they have to do for a living. Anyway, so this, I would love to say that this got ugly, but I'm sure that they were just going through the motions. Although Tessa, who is extremely theatrical when she wants to be, she gave you a good old fashioned Tessa Dunlap performance. The other guy, I don't know what his name is. I really don't care. But someone shared it on X, and I'm going to share it with you. It's kind of difficult to hear because Tessa, well, she, I think her mic was really bad, or either that, or she was just blowing too much wind into it, or something. But you could barely make out what she said.
Meghan with her super stardust, which is why people like you are so peeved because she turned her back on Britain. I understand we can sort out some counselling for you, Captain. You know, you will recover from this. You will recover from this.
Why doesn't she come back to the UK and wave to us all?
Because she thinks people like Kevin McKenzie are going to be all.
Well, I'm entitled to a view.
That's true, though,
and so
isn't
are
it?
you. You're entitled to a view, but that shouldn't stop her coming out and giving her views to our country.
Meghan with her super stardust, which is why people like you are so peeved because she turned her back on Britain. I understand we can sort out some counselling for you, Captain.
I'm peeved about her
you will recover from this. You will recover from this.
Why doesn't she come back to the UK and wave to us all?
Because she thinks people like Kevin McKenzie are going to be all.
Well, I'm entitled to a view.
When she starts shouting, you see that bottom left photo? She started pumping her arms, you know, like when somebody's doing that speed walking and your fists are balled up and your arms are going back and forth, your shoulders are out. She started doing that little twisting in her seat because she thinks because she thinks she got extremely animated. And Joyce Vos, I agree with you. She is all over the place. But she got extremely animated. So I'm not sure what to make of it. They're going to do this every day. Every day. And then for a few days after the Sussexes leave Nigeria. They are making so much money, you guys. They are making so much money. All of those people, they're cashing in. And all of these talking heads are going to come out of the woodwork. They'll all be out there making up stuff, insinuating things. And this guy, he says that, let me see, how did he put it? Oh, he said that Meghan is making some big assumption that the people in Nigeria are going to be glad to see her or something to that effect. And Tessa did, rightly so, said, well, can't you say the same thing about, I don't know, Ford Fiesta going to Ukraine and making it out to be some type of hero? She said, and then after that, Ukraine goes right to the back burner. You know, they only talk about Ukraine when they can go there and make someone's score political points. But other than that, nobody gives a toss about what's happening in Ukraine. That has already kind of played out to the point where Ukraine has to invite someone like Sophie, hoping to keep or maintain public interest so that the West will not get bored of, sending our tax dollars over there to try to save them. So I don't I'm going to move on. All of this is it's like I said, it's theater. And here's some more theater for you. Now, trigger warning. I did not read any of these articles. I was just amazed at how many of these they have been cranking out all day, every day. And it's only going to get worse. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry set to break royal protocol in Nigeria, but keep some regal tour traditions. It's not a royal tour. They're not pretending to be royal. Yes, it does appear to be exactly what Queen Elizabeth hoped that they could be, and that is the president and vice president of the Commonwealth, right? That is what the Queen wanted. She wanted them to go out to the Commonwealth. And I'm so glad that there was no half in and no half out, because seeing the way that Charles and William have conducted themselves, Charles, for a lifetime, has been a really bad player. And William, who, once he understood the level of power that he has, and I'm not talking about as Prince of Wales, even before that, as the heir, he had a lot of power and he started using it, and he used it to hurt his own brother. He tried to destroy his own brother, much in the way, actually, he tried to destroy his brother's wife, his sister-in-law, much in the same way that Princess Diana was destroyed. And he wasn't the only one. I could point fingers at other people in that family that are equally responsible for all of this negativity. So Prince Harry and Meghan will visit Nigeria this month, and they will participate in talks about Invictus Game. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're there for Invictus. They're not there to represent the crown. And then over here on the right, Meghan Markle's movements while Prince Harry visit UK without her explained. What? You're going to explain her movements? Listen, this has been something that I have been amazed, shocked and amazed, but very happy about. They live in Montecito, and there are no leaks. They don't know what Harry and Meghan are up to most days. There is no announcement about it. It just happens. And they find out when they wake up the next day, given the time difference, right? So that's a nice one, but not true. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry slammed for trying to one-up royal family in latest move. Listen, you guys, words do matter. And the lies are what drive the hate. And it's those lies, which is why Harry has been very concerned about the security of his family. Because you can't just say, oh, just don't pay attention to what they say. But this is the fuel. This is the way that they fuel the hatred. And that hatred turns into threats. That's the sad reality. Hatreds do turn into threats. And because of that, Meghan is not joining him in the UK. Because here it's just words, but the reality is someone can get hurt. So like I said, unless something changes between now and 2027, I think we should just plan to go to Washington, D.C. And then here on the right, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle accused of damaging royal family's ties to the Commonwealth. Damaging the royal family's ties to the Commonwealth? As if, or as I like to say in my most erudite tone, oh, really? Oh, really? Why, it's been this way for several years. Oh, really? That is my, what's his name? David Starkey? Starkey. Yeah, that is my David Starkey imitation. Oh, really? Why, it's been this way for several years. It was not. And there's no way. I don't care what they do. You cannot blame their troubles and their woes with that Commonwealth on Harry and Meghan. There are two culprits. There are two people who tried to imitate the what's her name, the Queen and Philip. So there's only two people you can blame for the state of the Commonwealth. And that's Will and Kate. Totally lacking in imagination. Now, this is the one that I feel is the most offensive. But again, you guys, please don't let this stuff bother you. Please don't let it bother you. Prince Harry warned by veterans Invictus Games lost meaning with Meghan Markle's involvement. They're trying to provoke a backlash against Meghan. We've seen the interaction between Meghan and the veteran competitors in Dusseldorf and Hague. We've seen the way Meghan interacted with the families, and this is just patently untrue. It's a lie. And of course, they have to drag out this very emotional image of Harry to drive the point. When they say when they say backlash, when they say slammed, or in this case, they're saying warned. Warned by whom? Who is having that conversation with Harry? If Meghan doesn't show up to the Invictus Games, they're going to flip out because they won't have anything to talk about. If Meghan do show up at the Invictus Games, they're going to pretend to be so upset and so outraged and so concerned and even angry because Meghan didn't show up. Isn't that what happened with the Legends of Aviation? They were so sure that they were going to have a red carpet moment. The Mirror, by the way, it was the Mirror. They were so sure that they were going to have a red carpet moment that they actually had written the article already. They had written the article and forgot to change the words. And they described how Meghan took to the red carpet and how dazzling and exciting she looked. And she wasn't even there. They didn't even catch Harry on the red carpet. He went through a side entrance. It was some lone individual that managed to get a couple of snaps with their cell phone, with their mobile. But other than that, there was no red carpet moment. And there they were, proven liars. And also proven obsessed. So when they didn't have Meghan, what did they do? They turned to Prince Mario Max. They turned to him. They turned on John Travolta. They declared that there was a bunch of social climbers and upstarts in the room, including the wealthiest man in the world. And I don't know how you get any more A-list than John Travolta, but they had to try to find some kind of way. They used language as a weapon, and it can only hurt you if you let it. You as an individual, I'm not talking about the way that it's capable of inciting violence against public officials, but I'm saying you as an individual, where these tabloids are concerned, it can only hurt you if you allow it. But the truth is, they're making money. They're making money. All of these articles in the past 48 hours, it's almost like if the Mirror was a person, it would have a personality disorder, right? It would be bipolar, because on the one hand, it's excited and giddy about the idea that Meghan is going to be there, so we'll have something to talk about. And on the other hand, they're angry and seething, gnashing their teeth. How dare she not come? Who does she think she is? Don't they know we got to put a new roof on this building? That kind of thing. Again, do not allow it to bother you. There's been a few people that have been reacting to all of this stuff. I find it more amusing than anything else. Meghan is not coming to the UK for the ceremony, and that's that. They're going to Nigeria. And of course, they're going to turn up the heat with Nigeria. Believe me, they've only just started. And they couldn't even make it that first day without being racially offensive, without showing dog whistles and total bigotry, racism. They couldn't even make it out the gate. So what do you think they're going to do once she gets there? And the big attempt is to try to humiliate Meghan for her statement about her 43% Nigerian heritage. They're going to try to make that a bad word, which is crazy because my DNA is pretty typical for an American my age. It is very typical. The admixture of this group and that group, all of that is typical. There's nothing unique or individual about it. There's many of us, because of the slave trade, that are a certain mixture of people, and that's just the way it is. So the only thing that they're going to do is isolate and alienate any person of African descent that is an American, that has had their DNA. They're going to listen to the British tabloid media try to deny the results of your ancestry tests. They're going to try to, I mean, it was one of the things they were saying that Doria is 50% white, and that there's been all of these interracial relationships in, well, that's how they put it, births in her family. And they were actually given percentages of this is this and this is that, and that's what she is. How in the world do you know? You couldn't possibly know. We don't know that Doria's ever had her DNA done. We don't know that she ever will. But one thing's for sure, it is likely to remain private. Oh, you saw that one too? Yeah, they're just declaring their percentages. She's this and she's that. BS. You don't know. You have no idea what this person is and what that person is. So you guys, they are going to be unhinged. I suggest you take it with a grain of salt. Tune out if you have to. Tune out. If you have to take a step away from social media, do it. Save yourself. Save yourself, because they're only going to get worse by the time they get to Nigeria. It'll start with the Invictus ceremony, and then it's going to continue. So be prepared. Again, it's just a bunch of nonsense. They're just selling papers. They're trying to get their clickbait. I didn't read any of these articles. I didn't have to. You could actually change the title of any of these articles. You can interchange those titles, and they're all going to say the same thing. That's what they do. The Express does that. The Mirror does that. All of them do it. You can just simply change the titles. If you saw the title and then you went on to read the article, you wouldn't know the difference. You're not going to stop and say, wait a minute, I thought this article was, you won't know the difference. It's deliberately calibrated to make absolutely no sense. And most of the article is reminding you how much their house costs and how many bathrooms they have. That's most of the article. How many times do they have to say that Meghan's 42 years old? They step back from, matter of fact, I don't see Harry's age listed as often as I see Meghan's. How many times are they going to tell us that? That's most of the article. That's why I say they're interchangeable. FYI, Camilla's on the left. Okay? Just so you know, Camilla's on the left. If you see some reptilian creature with razor sharp teeth, beady eyes, and a very pronounced brow bone, I know it's confusing, but most likely that is the, what is that, a T-Rex? Yeah. It's hard to tell reptiles apart. It really is. I cannot tell one reptile from the next because they all have that scaly skin, those beady eyes, those sharpened teeth. You can't tell them apart. Camilla's on the left. Oh yeah, by the way, Charles is feeling good because he's wearing his dinosaur necktie. That's what they said, or as I like to call it. Okay, that's too easy. I'm not even going to say it. That's too easy. Now, today also marks the relaunch of Her Majesty's Wash Bag Project, which provides wash kits to survivors in the immediate aftermath of an incident. The initiative stemmed from a desire to find a practical way to help and provide some comfort and dignity at such a difficult time. So, this, of course, is for women who find themselves suddenly homeless or living in a shelter or living in someone else's house, sleeping on a couch because, she's trying to get away from her partner. But it looks hauntingly familiar. It reminds me of some of those, um, what do you call it? Archwell Foundation projects where they stuff bags with things that are necessary. As a matter of fact, I don't understand why they need the Queen Consort involved with this. This is something that's been going on for quite some time. The only point of her standing there looking puzzled and concerned and delighted is because they're trying to help her establish relevance. She has not stuffed those bags. She don't even know what's in it. If there's not any gin in there or any whiskey or whatever, she's not interested. Are there any cigarettes in there? Then why did you bring me down here? That's what she's thinking. Cynthia says, another distraction from Kate. Here. Absolutely. Just another distraction from Kate. Yep. Also that. We are honored to share that the World Central Kitchen Cookbook is a James Beard Award nominee in the international category alongside talented authors. And it also goes on to say the heartfelt recipes from contributors are a testament to the power of food to bring people together. Well, it definitely keeps my thighs together. It does. It definitely keeps my thighs together. Food has done some things to me that I don't have the words for it. But okay, I get your point. It also brings people together. And congratulations, the James Beard Foundation. There's a prestigious James Beard Award, and in the world of food, the culinary sciences, the James Beard Award is one of those top awards that is handed out when it comes to preparing and serving food to people. So that is quite an accomplishment. So World Central Kitchen's first ever cookbook, an Anthem Award winner, New York Times bestseller, and James Beard Foundation Award nominee in the international category, gathers recipes inspired by many of the places our relief team has cooked following disasters and other crises around the world, as well as sharing inspiring narratives from the chefs, volunteers, and communities we met along the way. Each chapter that is feeding humanity, feeding hope, reflects the World Central Kitchen values, urgency focused on food, and can be eaten on the go, including the La Marjon bread served after a devastating explosion rocked Beirut in 2020. In hope, you'll find soup, stews, and comforting meals like Ukrainian borscht, served to families living through an unthinkable invasion, and chicken chili verde prepared for firefighters on the front lines in California. So yeah, I bet you some amazing stuff in there. Amazing. I don't know if I'm going to get that book, but it looks good. It looks good. So yeah, if you go to, let me see, what is their website? Anyway, I'll put that on the community tab later. But you can go to their website and order that book. By the way, I purchased one of those T-shirts for, what is it, Love Like a Mother? Yeah, I think that's it. Anyway, that went over very well. Um, but yeah, so if you haven't gotten yours yet, just hang tight. Remember, you have to make the $38 donation. And even if you don't want it yourself, you can send it to someone else. That's what I did. So I think it just came over the weekend. Was it Monday? I think it was Monday. So yeah, just hang tight if you don't get it. Check your emails because they didn't ship it right away. So if you did order one with your donation, they send you another email to let you know when it actually ships. So Church Nelly, okay, people got to get up in 5 hours. Love you, Baron and Squatties. Smooches. Thank you for 32 months membership, Church Nelly, and good luck. Hope you have a very productive day. Torn apart by jealousy. Well, that article has seemed to land it. It implies that Willie Leaks is jealous of Harry's success. Of course he is. But what I was taken by was all of the images. Now, this comes from the Celibacy website. And you can see how Harry is always just about a step behind his brother, but not anymore. He is leaps and bounds. Well, actually, he's always been that way, but he is leaps and bounds well ahead of his brother. And that is the way it is going to stay. After years of built-up resentment, Prince Harry's upcoming UK trip is a chance to mend fences with Prince William. Will the brothers unite or end up more divided than ever? Well, we already know what the answer is. I think it's so disingenuous that they keep saying, will they or won't they? You will find out when it happens, and not a moment sooner. But the endless speculation is not going to change anything. It's just not that important at this time. There are so many people that have had a falling out with their family and haven't spoke to them for years, if ever. It happens to rich, it happens to poor. I wish they would just leave it alone. I wish they would just leave it alone. I'm so tired of having to look through this prism of doubt. Will they or won't they? Like it's some kind of a soap opera, which it kind of is. But I don't care for all of that. You know? I mean, I almost wish that it were true just to put a rest to it. But it's too soon for that. Way too soon. There's too much that need to be answered for. There are apologies that need to be made. Okay? But until that happens, we won't hear the end of it. It'll just be more and more speculation. But no plans to meet his brother. So, have you seen his brother? Now Queen Mary and King Frederick are caught on royal Photoshop row. Fans claim portrait of 10 Danish royals is two separate images merged together. It's possible. I mean, if you look down there by the hands, it does look kind of wonky, doesn't it? See how her hand is like kind of away and to the side of his? But it just doesn't seem to be a proper shadow there. But then again, white gloves do look rather cartoonish. There's, especially the bigger your hands, the more you look like Mickey Mouse. So he looks rather cartoonish with those white gloves on anyway. So it's hard to tell. It really is hard to tell. But if you want to get it right next time, stay out of Spain. Just don't go to Spain. People get in trouble when they go to Spain, right? Now, if you're just there for, the castles or tourism and stuff like that, you'll be fine. But if you're going to Spain and you're going to stay up late into the night playing, cards or what is that game, Monopoly or whatever you were doing, then people are going to whisper. People are going to whisper. So yeah, the one on the right is the way things were, but the one on the left side, that's the one that's a bit suspect. But then again, how do you know when certain royals are real images and when they're not? Like, take for instance here, you don't know which one of those is Will and Kate. You don't know which ones are really bad wax figures, because the truth is they always look like really bad wax figures, right? I don't know when they haven't looked like a couple of wax figures. Like right here. Now, out of all those images, you don't know which one is real. I don't know which one is real. They all seem to have more hair than I recall, but how could you know? The inanimate blank look they have on their faces, it's like that all the time. It's like that all the time. Whether they're driving or playing with their children, at the opening of Parliament, there's always that rather blank, glaring stare that they have. So I don't know which is which. And then, of course, there's this one. Again, I'm kind of sure that that is William, but as for Kate, kind of hard to say. Kind of hard to say. Is it a mannequin or is it not? Now, this was very weird. This was rather weird. Okay. Let me get there. I want to be able to see that small print. So instead of addressing about Kate, Prince William, it says, respond, all doing well. This person asked him about Kate, how Kate is doing, right? And instead of just saying, Kate is this, that, or the other, he said, we're all doing well. We're all doing well? That's not what this person asked you about. How do you make that about you when it is Kate who hasn't been seen since Christmas? How does he make that about himself? That is so weird. Now, Republic is going to have another rally over at Trafalgar Square, I believe it is, on May the 5th. On May the 5th. And Graham Smith was more than delighted to point out, spinning hard here, only 38% have a favorable view of Camilla, according to their own poll. Fewer than half have a favorable view of Charles or royals as a whole. So those numbers are not good. They are creeping closer and closer to the same numbers that they have managed to create for Harry and Meghan. Now, the purple, the light purple, that of course is don't know. And then the white is don't know. The light purple is neither. The middle purple is unfavorable, followed by the very larger, like burgundy maroon looking portion that is the favorable. So, given the situation that Kate is going through, only 63%, no, 61% approval. Should be better than that. And William, 60%, 60 and 61%. And likewise, they both have 15% of the neither, followed by the unfavorable, which they both have. The unfavorable is 15% for Willie and 11% for Kitty. I just don't think those numbers are that great, especially when everything goes your way. They should be higher, and they are, than Fred and Gladys, Charles and Camilla, because, they still have their stigma of everything that has happened. But for William and Kate, they should be in the 70s or the 80s, especially Kate, because she's not even making appearances. So that means she cannot make a mistake. She can't get anything wrong. But yet, 61%. Now she's above water. And that's a good thing for her. But still, not that impressive. Not that impressive. So as a whole, the institution has, and these numbers come from the royal family. This is a poll that they paid for. Not impressive. It is not impressive. Their popularity is declining. And anytime someone is away, ill, like Kate, and you're only at 61%, and then the rest either don't know or don't care for you, that is odd. That is very, very odd. I'm glad for it, and I hope it goes further down for those 4 individuals, but I'm just really surprised. Now, of course, due to the constant hate campaign, you can see Meghan's at the bottom is 49% unfavorable, 25% neither, and favorable or unfavorable, and 23% are for our Duchess. And I believe these are UK numbers, not for the US. So interesting. And pretty much the same for Harry. Yeah, almost the same for Harry. But as a family as a whole, as for the family as a whole, it doesn't look good. It does not look good. So I don't know if that's what prompted this rally for the 5th, but they're not doing so great, you guys. And I'm here for it. No poll taken in March. Really? Interesting. Oh, yeah, I could barely see that at the bottom. You're right. Let me see that. Let me make that bigger. Based on online British adult ages. Okay. So yeah, like I said, that poll is for just Britain. But it's what they deserve. It's what they deserve for what they had planned for the Sussexes, and also for everything that they continue to do to Harry and Meghan. I think that they asked for it. I really do believe that. And I was thinking today, now I'm not wishing anything bad on any member of that royal family, but given the way that Meghan was treated, given the way that Harry was treated, whatever may or may not have happened because of the way they have been treated. Okay, so I could see 1, 2, 3. I could see 3 core members of that family are in distress. But the reptile nobody's been able to hem in that reptile. I don't know why, but you know how they say alligators down in Florida, sometimes uh, those bodies of water down there freeze over. And the way to combat that is that the alligators, they just kind of stick their snout just above the water. And then as the water freezes, they go into not exactly a hibernation, but they slow down their metabolism and everything. Anyway, they're the ultimate survivor. They have lived through, lots of different things in their environment, and yet they persist. And if I'm correct, just about any reptile is capable of sticking their snout up in the air and riding through a storm, no matter what you throw at them. But all I can say is keep trying. Keep trying. Now, the fact that Camilla has not made it to the Met Gala is a true crime. Where that's concerned, I am going to have to come down on the side of the Queen Consort because she has just too much imagination to be excluded from the premier fashion event in the United States year after year. She's just got too much going for her. Now, I don't know where to tell you to order that outfit, but as you can see, it is quite forgiving. If you're suffering from hoster hips, or perhaps you need a lifting for your bottom, or maybe you have a donut roll, whatever it is, that outfit can actually, what is the word I'm looking for? It can help you minimize some of the more unflattering bits. That's what I'm trying to say. I mean, if you saw somebody coming at you like that, your eyes don't know where to go. Your eyes just don't know where to go. She looked like she ate that blueberry candy in Willy Wonka. The other thing that bothers me is, why does Camilla always wear these dresses with the zipper in the front? Has anyone not told her that most women zip up their dresses in the back? I'm just asking for a friend. Has anybody told her that? Why does she always have these breakaway outfits? I'm just curious, that's all. But she's always wearing these breakaway outfits. Oh, was it Blackberry? Okay. Now, there's the lemon outfit. And I love the way that they have managed to give her a shape. See there? Here, it's just kind of like bleh. But over here, they've managed to give her a shape. And that silver lame, I would love to see her in that silver outfit. I tell you, AI is going to be the end of us all. Now, they're on the left side. Actually, both of these, she has kind of a cute shape. But remember, this is all fantasy. It's not real. Now, this is real. You know, Diana, elegant, graceful, every bit the lady. And I hate to do this. I really hate to do this, but compare. I hate to do this. Don't I sound just like Tessa Dunlap? I hate to do this, but compare. Diana looks graceful, like a beautiful blackbird, whereas Camilla has her arms all splayed out like some kind of longshoreman. I mean, if she doesn't look like a merchant marine has just come into town for fun and games, I don't know what she looks like. You see what I'm saying? I mean, every time I see her, I keep seeing Ernest Borgnine, the actor Ernest Borgnine. Striking. She's what you call a very handsome woman. Oh, oh my goodness. If you thought that was bad, look it up close. Look it up close. Again, very beautiful, elegant Diana. And then, of course, Camilla. Camilla. There's Diana and Camilla. And with that, you guys, I am done. Thank you so much for joining us on Royal Sussex. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. Sorry I went over an extra half hour. Love you guys. I'm not going to drag out the ending today. But needless to say, whenever you see our queens, it is time to go. And by now, I'm sure you know what that means. Right? Right. Okay, last word, no bad energy. Thank you all so much for your very generous and thoughtful contributions. I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Raffaella Bertoni, thank you so much for the super sticker. And as always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Thank you all so much. Love you guys. See you tomorrow. Ooh, let me get that one off that screen. Ooh. Oh, before it gets stuck there, right? Surely there's something more pleasant to gaze upon. I think I know just the thing. Huh.